coffee. Don't talk to me until I've had my morning coffee. Multiracial white supremacy. Multiracial white supremacy. It's possible. It's definitely possible. Not only is it possible, it's probable. Let's see how this sounds. Wow. I really need a hat. Look at that, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna get a hat. Jesus, I look like some sort of troglodyte. Okay. Well, it sounds good at least. Oh, you don't want to talk to me until I've had my coffee. You don't want to talk to me until I've had my cup of coffee. You know that there's white women that unironically have that on their shit. Look at this. Every stream, I feel like I'm going more and more crooked. Right? Does it not look as crooked as it could be? I feel like it's purposely done at this point. Right? Should I even fix it? I'm gonna fix it live. That's how we do things. I should do it with my crotch towards the camera, but at least I have a modicum of care, so I'm not gonna do that. Look at that. There you go. That's better, right? That's a little bit better, don't you think? Look at that. Oh yeah. Okay, this is what we're talking about, my friends. All right. This is how we do things. This is how we do things on the channel. Oh man. Oh boy. So another live stream. Another day, another dollar. This is the way we do things. Look at that. Man, that was not flattering. This shirt's definitely not flattering. I've actually lost a lot of weight, believe it or not. But whatever that angle was, I apologize because it looked like I had a gunt. It looked like I had a little bit of a gunt, of which I don't. I'm actually fat phobic. I don't know if a lot of people know this about me, but I've spread the message of not liking fats to people around me, and they've taken it as their religion. Like some other people that I don't know. I hate to use the word influencer, but people that do YouTube videos, some of them wanted to like start their own religions, and it always ends up being the most cringe of cringe things, where they say obvious things, and then you have a league of followers. It's hysterical. If you look it up, there's actually quite a lot of YouTubers that have started their own religions with devout followings. Good stuff to look at. So it's Sunday, right? It's Sunday. This clock isn't even right, but it's approximately 11 o'clock on Eastern time, and it's the only time I think about. I know that there are other places in the planet, but honestly, they're not as important. So I decided, you know what? Let's do a little bit of a stream. Let's do a stream here, right? I think we got off on the wrong foot. I had the angle incorrect. You got to see my gunt a little bit, but there are white women in this planet that have signs that say, "Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee," and they have that unironically on their house. Usually, you could find it at Hobby Lobby, you could find it at Michael's, and they have it in cursive. And every woman that's at least divorced twice and above the age of 40 has that sign next to the coffee maker, which is kind of funny, right? It's kind of like a quirky thing. Like, oh my God, she's different. She's different. Ah, I just drew it on myself. But hey, welcome. Welcome to the stream. This one's going to be a fun one, as they all are. I think that every stream I've ever done has been at least a little bit exciting because we talk about many topics, right? Usually, obviously, this channel is reserved for magic. But guess what? Magic's not the only thing, my friends. Magic's not the only thing around. There's plenty of things going on in the news sphere. I have a newspaper every time I go and buy groceries. I buy the paper. I buy the New York Post, and I buy the New York Times. However, I threw away the New York Times because I was done reading it, and I was not done reading the Post. Some people might say, "Oh, pigcakee, that's a right-wing publication." Well, New York Times, it's essentially a left-wing publication. And I still purchase it. I still read it. I look at all. I look at everything, my friends. There's no partisan here. Okay, it's not only am I bisexual, I'm also bipartisan. So there's no confusion there. Let's see. Regarding your trip to the UK, once you come to Europe, you're like to Venice, and available to have you as a guest. An hour from Venice. I have a former teacher that used to live there, and it's actually quite tremendous, just because of the way the water fluctuates. It's gonna be how we are in 50 years. So Venice is a good way of looking into the future of South Florida, at least in the next 50 years when we're completely underwater. Somebody a long time ago decided, hey, you know what's an intelligent idea? Why don't we build the entirety of the southern tip of Florida underneath the water level? Let's just do that. I think that's going to have a good consequence later on in life, right? So you have buildings collapsing because of faulty craftsmanship. You also have buildings that are collapse, that are going to collapse eventually due to the fact that we are underwater, which is a fun thing. Bipartisan pig cake is fake news. Yeah, right? How great is that, by the way, that we've taken those two words to be a meme now, fake news. Kind of old there, but I still think it's relevant today, right? Fake news. I want to see where that actually came from. I want to see where that actually came from. I hate this keyboard, by the way. Fake news origin. I don't think it was Trump. I'm trying to remember who's the person that that originated on the original Prolir- prof- Jesus, proliferation. Okay, there you go. I'm sorry, using these highfalutin words. Let's see if somebody actually had found the origin of the term fake news. Let's see here. It doesn't seem to be any sort of history to that. There isn't any history to that. But I think Trump was the one that really brought it up to what it is today of fake news, which is hysterical. Let's see this one. NYT is as informative as the Inquirer. I think they're all the same. I think they're all the same. And my favorite one is anytime you go to any sort of grocery store, right at the end, right at the checkout aisle, the impulse buy section. That's when you have the Inquirer. Does anyone ever buy the Inquirer and all those terrible magazines that say, "Hey, Michael Douglas is dying. You're not gonna believe what his wife is thinking." Michael Douglas has had quite a significant life. I think if he passes away, he would have had a life well lived. So I don't understand why the National Enquirer needs to post a picture of him looking very unflattering and say that he's dying. But that's nobody's ever purchased any of those magazines. I feel like they rot. I went to Walgreens recently, and they actually have a book section. Could you imagine? Next to the Plan B, there are books. So if you ever decide to accidentally, what's the right term? The medical term is ejaculate inside of your date, and you want to purchase some Plan B, you want to drop those $50. Next to it, next to it are is a set of books, like romantic books, crime books. It's a very interesting, weird thing they decided at Walgreens. I get all my news from the magazine. The magazine, is that a particular type of magazine? That's the sort of thing um, that I would call my publication. Call it the magazine. Hey now, Michael Douglas is my mom. Be careful what you say. Michael Douglas is, was. I don't think he's that attractive now, but one of my favorite movies is Romancing the Stone, right? That shows you a little bit of my age. But it's him and Kathleen Turner, and they go to Columbia, and there's this whole back and forth. And let me tell you, if Michael Douglas put his hand on my thigh during that time period, I would have been sperm essentially. But let's say that you pull that Michael Douglas out from that time and you insert it into whatever current time I'd be going to, like one of those raunchy nightclubs, and Michael Douglas puts his hand on my thigh. I'd be throwing it back for Michael Douglas without a problem. That was a great character in that movie. I forgot the name, Jack something, but wonderful movie if you haven't watched it already. Let's say Plan B is my Plan A. The only good Amy Schumer joke. Amy Schumer was funny for 14 minutes, I feel. Amy Schumer was definitely funny for at least 14 minutes, and she had some good jokes. But it's that stereotypical vagina stuff, right? I just realized this makes me, my hairline makes me look bald. But wearing the hat this way, I've realized you need to have a tuft of hair showing here, right? So then that way you give the appearance of not being completely bald. That didn't work. That didn't work. I apologize for that. I thought I could fix my receding hairline. I recently bought myself a trimmer, like a hair trimmer, because I figured getting my haircut is easy, right? I showed the guy a picture of I mentioned this before, but I showed the guy a picture of WWE superstar Roman Reigns, and I said, "Give me that haircut," right? And he gave me the haircut, and then I paid like $30 for it. And then when I came home, I realized It's literally just it's nothing. I could do it myself, and I've done it myself for the past week. So I don't need haircuts from a professional. I could do it myself. Okay. So your boy's out here looking at tutorials on YouTube for how to cut hair, which is, by the way, a dark rabbit hole in the YouTube scene. It doesn't seem like a lot of these barbers have a really good production value, even in 2021. They just, set their phone up, much like I've done, but they set it and then they record their video on it, and they have these voiceovers where they're too close to the mic, so you kind of hear them breathing. It's if you ever have the chance, look it up. Look it up. Haircut tutorials for men. I apologize for my transgression there in incorrect language. Opinion on the gun trick to produce the selected card. The gun trick. I'm not familiar with any individual gun trick. There's a bunch that have been around. I forgot which one. There's a Darrow one that I saw years ago, right, which is quite interesting. Penguin Magic recently sent these out. Ignore the or excuse the angle here for a second. Oh yeah, they sent me these bad boys, unsolicited. Right. Speaking of card tricks, they sent me these, which are the Wranglers, right? Which is very nice of them. Very nice of them. They didn't send me an email ahead of time as they usually do, but they sent me these Wrangler playing cards, which are, as you could imagine, they're cowboys, right? So they have little cowboys on them and stuff. So these would be very appropriate with guns because of the old timey West. I've been watching Walker Texas Ranger recently as well. Could you please do haircuts for men magic trick? Haircuts for men magic trick. How would that go? Right? You do something, you wave your hand, and the hair changes color. Right? Would that be an appropriate trick? Much like the suspenders that you hold down and then you rub and then they change colors. If anybody unironically has those, I think there's definitely a correlation between that and being on the registry. I haven't done any empirical scientific studies on that, but if you own one of those suspenders that changes color as you rub them, I think that the majority of those owners are definitely registered sex offenders. So that's a dissertation for somebody to munch on, right? Fuck the Wranglers. When are we going to be able to buy your deck? I know, I know. Listen, my friend, there's high demand. Okay, there's high demand for my deck. I get comments on an almost daily basis about my deck of playing cards, and it's at a snail's pace. It's at a snail's pace. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna talk to the guy today and mention, hey man, what's going on? Which is also my fault because I should do my due diligence and update them more often. Let's see this one. DeVito was a badass in that movie. Yeah, yeah, DeVito was tremendous there, and I think that his role was supposed to be a little bit less than initially thought, and instead they put him in the movie and they gave him a bigger role. And they had another movie afterwards called War of the Roses, which was tremendous. It was a little bit kind of shitty at the end because I was rooting for Michael Douglas, and then Kathleen Turner was kind of a cunt in the movie. However, I would say it's another tremendous one that's like kind of an unofficial sequel to that one, where they're a couple but they hate each other. It's great. How is the COVID situation and vax situation in the U.S.? Well, I wouldn't know because I live in Florida. I'm a Florida man, so I wouldn't know. By the way, I have the reason I called this episode "Don't Talk to Me Until I've Had My Coffee" is because I made myself some coffee, and I saw that sign recently of "Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee," and I decided, hey, if I want a refill, I just brought the whole carafe, carafe maybe. But yeah, in Florida it's different to the rest of the states. So over here, everything's pretty much been open for a year now. It was closed for maybe a month and a half. Things were kind of restricted for a month and a half, and then we've been pretty much open as open could be. Although there are a lot of places now that are requiring masks. There are a lot of places now. They were pretty loose on that before, but now some places have signs up saying, "Hey, man, you need your mask in here." But here's the best part: people walk in and they don't say anything. So you walk in without a mask and they don't say anything. So I'm sure it's just for whoever's coming in there to make sure that they at least have the minimum done, whatever inspectors are there. But yeah, that's the way we've been going here for quite a long time, and it's Florida. I mean, it might as well be a part of Cuba, right? It might as well be a part of I don't want to say South America, but it might as well be a part of like Costa Rica, where you have enough of a Latin population, but you still have a lot of English speaking individuals. That's what Florida is essentially, and the northern part of Florida is Georgia, because you go to the certain stores and you have a little bit of a tan, and they're gonna tell you the exits that way. So that's the type of thing you might find in northern Florida, not in southern Florida. In southern Florida, we love all races and racists. We love all racists. Bustelo coffee or just regular? This is regular. This is some shitty coffee that I found in Big Lots for $5. The reason I get that is because I can make a lot of it and I could spread it off through a couple days. I make one pot on Monday, and then that pot in the fridge lasts me the entire week, just making one big old pot. Bustelo is a process, my friend. When you make Cuban coffee, the way it's supposed to be made, it's a process, right? It's a science, it's an art, and I think I've perfected my technique for making coffee in that way. But it's also kind of annoying to do because you have to get the sugar, and I'm trying to save on a lot of calories. So that's not necessarily something that I want to be drinking on a day-to-day basis. Look up the process of how to make Cuban coffee, right? And you'll see. I would say the majority of the ingredients are fucking sugar. It's sugar and sugar. So you add sugar on sugar, and then you add a little coffee. You stir it up. It's great, but it's also a treat, maybe a once a month treat. How many hours do you practice your stuff? Well, I have two thoughts on that, right? Two thoughts on that, and I don't mean the type of shotties that you find in a club. I don't mean those thoughts. I mean the thoughts in the sense of like practicing in context, right? So you practice in context when you do little card tricks and you practice the whole thing, not just the individual moves. And the other one is mindlessly practicing. That's the other school of thought that I have, which is you're watching something, or you get a documentary, or for example, you unlock your weeb side and you decide to watch Rurouni Kenshin the beginning out on Netflix, and you watch it, and then you're doing little moves or you're practicing little sleights as you are doing that. So it's not really focused. It's just more for technique. But your mind is elsewhere. Your mind isn't on your hands. But I think when you devote time to practice, you should definitely practice in context of the full routine. And I hate that I got virginy, but I think that answers your question very well. I've been learning from the Dan and Dave trilogy. Some of the stuff is damn near impossible to do right now, but man, is it good. Your thoughts on the Buck Twins? My favorite Buck Twins is the secret Buck Twin that nobody knows about. I don't know if this is. I know Magic Roasted on Instagram recently featured him because he's a little bit of a trumper. I would say he's on that side, right, the right side, in both senses of the word. But he's on the right side, right? And that peeves off a lot of people. But he's on the right side a little bit too much, right? Which is, I would say, a little bit of the militaristic side of it. And Magician Roasted recently had a piece on him, which was quite funny. But my thing with them is that their stuff. Did this stop, or is my internet down here? I can never tell if it's my connection over here, if it's my connection over here. I can't tell. God, this I need to burn this tank top. I look like one of those guys from South Beach, and I'm not talking about the straight ones. But Dan and Dave stuff is it's fun. It's fun to do. I don't think it's practical in performance. They have a couple stuff that you could definitely do and have fun with in front of people. But for the most part, I think that a lot of their stuff is just fun for the camera, and it's a good way to just get dexterity, right? Because you have that wonderful routine. I would say that like subway routine. You have that one where all the aces vanish slowly. That's a fun one, especially from the trilogy set. They put a lot of crazy shit in there, and you could really adapt it to make it, for performance. But I do think that a lot of their stuff is eye candy rather than to be performed. But I hope that addresses your concern and query, hungry and hungover. Let me refresh this to make sure that it's not, in fact, that, and it's this Surface Pro 4. I think they're by the 9 now, and I'm still rocking my Surface Pro 4. Geesh. Talk about cheap, right? I think I got that from my father. My mother tells me that my father has had several incidents in his life where he had eaten rotten food because he didn't want to waste it. I'm not at that level. But I am certainly cheap to still have, I would say, a 7-year-old computer. But this is not the main one, right? This is not the editing rig. The editing rig is over there. But yeah, the trilogy stuff is fun. I remember that, but it's not much more than that. I don't think that if you could take it as is from the trilogy and straight up perform it to people and have at least a lot of uh, have a good, well-rounded performance, if that makes sense, right? It's more eye candy stuff. Would you post some bloopers from your videos? Let me tell you, if I post bloopers from my videos, it's definitely gonna have people. I think. Well, I'm kind of already scumbag. I'm kind of already the lowest of the low in the planet in the totem pole, right? I'm the lowest of the low. But when it comes to that, I have a lot of like I don't want to say anger, but there are a lot of times when I'm recording videos and shit goes wrong that I lose my shit. I lose my shit. A car might drive by really aggressively when I'm doing a take, and the worst ones are the patron videos, right? So those, I want to keep those relatively serious, right? I want to keep those at least on the up and up. I don't want to joke around too much. And sometimes it's a complex move, and it takes a little bit to just make sure that I get it right for the camera. And the worst part is, you might have a car drive by, or the phone might ring, or you might get like a text at an inappropriate time, and I just go, really, really. So you'd be getting essentially a 30-minute compilation of me going, yeah, dude, right now, like that. That's it. That's the blooper of every single video. When I get angry, it's always the same shit. I always say the same thing, which, dude, come on, man. Really? To an inanimate object. So I say that to my phone, to my laptop, to whatever it is that's causing me peril. If the thing that angers me the most is the battery. Because for some reason my camera, the battery drains pretty quickly. I guess I've used it for enough, and I charge it retardedly, so the battery drains quickly. So when I see it on 2 bars, I know that I have maybe 30 minutes. Sorry, 30 minutes. I have like 30 seconds left before the whole thing drains. So it's aggravating because I have to turn off the camera. I have to put another one. I have to put this one to charge. I have to turn it on and then remember where I was. So you're just a lot of me going, really, dude? Yeah, like that. Ask Daniel. Daniel definitely has seen me upset. Let's see. Am I insecure? No, not really. I'm not really insecure. I guess you're saying that because the height, right? Usually people, when it comes to the height, they're really insecure. But here's the thing: I don't like short people. I don't like short people. Every time I see short people, I don't like how they're walking, how they're dressed. I feel like short people compensate for their lack of height with either attire or with their stance, their gait, the way they walk, the way they they want to take more space up, even though they only take up a small amount of space. And I know it's very thick coming from me, right? Because you see me in that video standing next to Turner, standing next to anybody, and you're like, oh, ho, ho, it turns out Piggy's a midget. Ho, ho, ho. I'm short. All right, I'm short. I can't do anything about it, but I'm not ashamed of it. I'm glad I'm short. Right? It's the hand that I was dealt. I had to deal with it. I'm not gonna be insecure about it. I'm not gonna the peacock, right? The peacock and try to take up more space being a short person. And the worst ones are the ones that go with like they'll read a GQ magazine and get the latest style trend, and they'll try to do it while looking like a toddler. So that's my favorite one. The way you walk is disgusting. The way I walk is because I got hit by a car. I got hit by a car and I didn't do surgery, the recommended surgery on my foot, ankle. So I walk a little bit like a duck, I've been told. But I don't think I walked like that before I got hit by a vehicle. But I walk like a normal person, right? Which is kind of terrible because every other person that I know obviously is taller than me. So for their walk, so for their every step that they take, I have to take 4 steps. So they take like one normal step, and then you have me here just doing one of these, right? Like, come on, man, stop it. Which is kind of rough. The way you dress is disgusting. I dress relevant to the area that I'm in. Oxymoron. Right now it's hot. It's summer. I think it's 90 degrees outside. I'm not going to be wearing sleeved shirts. Right? Also, it's Florida. Give me a break. Right? We're a wife beater city. If you're not wearing a wife beater, people look at you weird. And if it's 70 degrees and you're wearing a wife beater and like shorts, people look at you odd too because you should be wearing Gore-Tex. Where's your winter wear? It's 70 degrees. It's freezing. That's the way we think it down here. Do not get the shot. The prophecies of the Bible are coming true. No lie. Tarbell. You know, I was watching a movie yesterday. Speaking of that, Nobody 12. I was watching a movie yesterday called Jerusalem, right? Which is about the gates of hell opening up and taking over Jerusalem. It's a found footage horror movie. I stopped watching it halfway because it was just terrible. It's just awful. I'm like, it's not. There's like a giant. There's literally a giant, like a 20-foot giant, walking around, and this person reacts like, "Oh my God, that's crazy." What? If you see a 20-foot giant right now outside of your house, you're not gonna go, "Oh my God, that's crazy." You're gonna lose your shit. You're gonna flip your shit. You're gonna cry. You're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna just stand there in shock and horror. You're not gonna go, "Oh my God, that's crazy," the first time you see it. So I'm like, fuck you. I turned it off. And then also the movie kind of turned me off because the protagonist is a fairly attractive Jewish woman, very attractive Jewish woman, my exact type, as a matter of fact. But the way the movie is being recorded is through Google Glass. So that took me off right off the bat because she keeps giving the glass commands. And I'm like, there's no way, first of all, that it'd be recording at that definition. There's literally bokeh on your fucking Google Glass, of which the sensor is this big, right? And the audio is pristine. And then you're able to do recognition immediately. No, thank you, dude. That's not the way it was. I get you're trying to have a little bit of, you know, you're trying to play on a technology, but that turned me off. So I stopped watching that movie. Some people said, "Oh, this movie's Oscar worthy." That's not. John McCowan standing in front of the yard yelling, "Really, dude? Really, dude?" Yeah, that's literally me doing it. It's not. They're not funny. Like my outtakes are not funny. It's just me being aggressive. I can picture you standing on your front stoop screaming, "You kids get out of my yard." Frank Caliendo had that joke years ago, where George Bush stands like he's looking at kids doing something on his yard, right? Where he kind of has that look. I don't mind. I'm not going to be that old guy screaming at children on my yard. I scream at people doing stupid stuff in traffic. That's where I get my anger from. If you're a dumb person and you're doing stuff in traffic, I'm going to let you know. And the worst part is that I'm in a motorcycle. And I understand that it's very easy for you just to hit me, and very often it's over. But I get angry at people all the time doing stupid shit, cutting into me. The space that I leave between me and the other car, right? I leave about a car and a half, usually. Sometimes more than that. That space is for my comfort. That space is so that if anything happens to that car, maybe the car in front, I have time to react, get out of the way, and dip and dodge, right? Not for you to cut in and go, "Oh, I need to save 4 seconds on my way to Wendy's." Are you kidding me? You fucking retard. Now I have to brake. I have to worry about the guy behind me, all because you decided to cut me off so you could save 4 seconds and we're still at the same red light. The other day, I drove by a car that had hit another car, leaking oil all over the place, and another car hit it, right? That's what I'm worried about. I'm trying to prevent that from happening because I'd be a sandwich. I'd be dead. I'm in a two-wheeled vehicle. So I have to be a little bit more alert. It's not so you, Samantha, could cut in and save some time. Okay? You and they're always the same type of person, dumb bitch on her phone, just and then they kind of give you a face like, "Oh, I don't know, man." They bitch at you. They bitch at you. I put a one not so long ago on what do you call this, on a pigcakee play. Well, not so long ago, being like 2.5 years, where I had an incident with a woman where she took the stop sign. She took the stop sign and turned, and I go, "That's a stop sign," and she goes, "Whatever." What? No, not whatever. You took the stop sign. You broke the rules. Do I have to beat down another guy from Chipotle for you again? No, 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 no. Listen, that guy. All right, that guy was another story. If you've watched the other live streams, it's not a story. It's just anger. It's just, listen, I'm pedestrian of the century. When the light is meant for me to walk on the crosswalk, I run across because I don't want cars being delayed. I don't want cars being delayed from progressing the economy. People take their time and they go, "It's my right of way." No, it's not your right of way. All right, the priority is the vehicle getting to park and going somewhere where they're going to progress the economy. You're regressing the economy by walking slow across the crosswalk because you have the right of way. And you point at it like that's some sort of victory. And you go, "No, look right there. I'm allowed to." You're allowed to because we want you to. All right. I'm technically, on average, driving a 2 to 4 ton vehicle, right? I could destroy at any time. And you're the one pointing at the sign? That's very thick of you. Don't get me on traffic. All right, I could go 2 hours on traffic. Do I have to beat down? I already read that one. The first Paranormal Activity, the sequels are lame. Yeah, because one established the premise and the other one's built upon it. Much like stacking shit, because they just stack shit on top of each other. David Seller says, "You are too funny. I dig all your magic content. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate you and your profile picture there, looking like a dapper man, like a dapper man, David. A pig cake screams at kids to venture into his yard. That's gross. Is that a pedo joke? Is that a pedophilia joke? That's disgusting. Oxymoron. You need to relax. You need to leave. Like in that popular TikTok video where, what do you call this? Some guy goes, it's about Mexico, right? And they go, oh, kids are, complaining about coming from Mexico and being all this here. And then some guy in the background goes, why didn't they just stay in Mexico? And then you have a bunch of people go, and one woman says the best line of the century, which is, "You need to leave." I've been saying that nonstop since I've seen that TikTok. Sorry. Says the guy who parked his crotch rocket in the passenger seat of an SUV. Yeah, listen, I didn't park my anything into anything. That woman parked her car on top of the bike. If you look at the picture, her car was parked on top of the bike on the other side of the stop sign. Her stop sign was, I'm not even kidding, probably, let's see. So you have the stop sign, right? And then you have the street, the intersection. So this is, let's see if I could represent this, right? Here's her stop sign. This is where she stopped, right here. The other stop sign would be here. So this is where she stopped with my motorcycle underneath her GMC Acadia. So I was the one paying attention, stopping where I did, and did the due diligence, which is, I came to the stop, I stopped, I looked both ways, and I went. And unfortunately, this lady said, oh, sorry, now I'm on top of a car. But I have my papers, though, which is, by the way, funny because that's exactly what her father was screaming when the police came. She has papers. She has her papers. I'm like, all right, dude. Okay. All right, guy. Thoughts on Kalen Morelli? He's a little bit weird. He's funny. I don't like that I made a video on him and Jeremy Griffiths, and I didn't get a reaction. I didn't get them. I thought they were gonna be like, haha, that's funny. One of them did, I believe, Jeremy, but it wasn't like a. I thought that they were gonna be like, oh shit, but they did. They reacted like magicians. I thought they were gonna react like people, right? But they reacted like magicians to that video. It was a funny video on the beef that they had. They had a little bit of a quarrel. But Caleb Morelli is very creative, but a weird dude. He's a weird guy for sure. Every time, yesterday, for example, he posted on Instagram, he's like, I'm giving up my profile picture as a spot for anyone that wants to take it up. Each spot costs $500. By the way, everything I say is a lie. You are being lied to. It's just weird. It's kind of an odd thing to post, but people like it. I dig it from time to time, but sometimes I think it's too much. But I dig his stuff. Let's see. Did you get any bad comments since you started your channel and there are haters in your community? If yes, I cannot believe it, really. Yes, I get haters. I get haters all the time. Most of my comments are pretty negative. As a matter of fact, I would say if I had to quantify them, I think I get a lot of positive comments, but I would say, an equal amount of dislikes, especially from people that haven't really watched my content. They just watch maybe one or two videos and they go, whoa, dude, you need to leave. You need to relax with your rhetoric, right? Especially the videos where I talk about like Di Vernon. I get a lot of comments on those videos where I talk about like SpongeBalls. I've gotten a lot of hate on those because they go, oh man, you need to really perform SpongeBalls because I've been doing it for 45 years and I always get the best reactions. Did you watch the video? Did you watch the video? I don't think you watched the video, right? I said SpongeBalls is a great trick, right? But doing it with actual SpongeBalls is terrible. That's what I said. I said find alternatives that make sense, not these weird red things that nobody ever has on them that are dirty and disgusting, and you have them in your pocket and they catch lint. First time I caught you live, so pleased I did. Loving it from the UK. Thank you, Gary Edge. Gary Edge. like the wrestler Lambert. You sound like one of these people, Michael. What's his name? I know that Rick and Morty did a bit on him. Michael something. That he had three names, and he actually died recently. Funny enough. Yep, lots of haters. Yeah, I have haters as a matter of fact that dig into my personal life, as a matter of fact, and leave comments alluding to things, right? I get haters like that, which aren't really haters, because if you're doing that, it's kind of, I would say, funny. It's funny, right? But I think it may have started from a place of dislike. Not hate, but heavy dislike. Morelli's a good dude. You just have to sit down and eat a dolphin with him raw on the beach, and he opens up. Little tip: save him the break. Oh, save him the beak. It's his favorite part. Man, that's a weird sentence. That's really a weird sentence to read, I guess. He seems like a nice guy, but just the stuff he puts on social media is a little bit odd. It's definitely a little bit on the odd side. I went to Starbucks recently, and I realized that there's a thing that happens in Starbucks. Every time you give your name, I'm not gonna say my name, but it's different spellings, right? Subjects with different spellings. Most people already fucking know it, anyways. What am I pretending? Most people already fucking know it. But they always ask me to clarify, right? I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's just gonna go in a cup. I could hear it, and even if you say something near it, I'm gonna go up to the booth, right? I'm gonna go up to the booth and go, yeah, that's my drink, and I could recognize it because I get the dragon drink, so it's literally a pink fluorescent drink. So I've realized every time I go to Starbucks, they always have to get the name spelled correctly, and I go, it doesn't matter, however you spell it, and they go, no, 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 no. How do you spell it? And I go, "Well, just how do you think I spell it?" And it's this back and forth. It's usually between 30 seconds and a minute and a half of haha, yeah, dude, I don't care. Just spell it however it is you want to spell it, right? Say it phonetically, write it in the cup, and then that's it. That's the end of the transaction. I don't understand why. Maybe it's part of the training that they really are adamant. If anybody's been employed at Starbucks, let me know. But every time I've gone there, I've had the same experience where where they go, "Oh, give me your name," and I go, "Okay, great. This is gonna be another one of these. It's this," and they go, "Okay, how do you spell it?" I go, "Well, however you want to spell it," and they go, "No, no, 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 no. I need to get it right." Oh, I feel like if they get it wrong, they get lashed 10 times. Could somebody let me know? I really hope that somebody knows that so you could answer, and I could quell my suspicions here. Same thing at Chick Fil A. Chick Fil A is the same sort of vibe, where if they get anything wrong, I think they get lashed in the back. And I love Chick Fil A because of their food. Not gonna say your name insecure much. Well, trying to be private, right? At least trying to be private and not have that much on it. But a lot of people know it already. I don't. I mean, I care because I really don't want it public. Like I don't want it public. But if you find it, whatever. You know, you found it. All right, good job. But it's not about insecurity. It's just privacy. I love your videos. You're a great magician, and leaving me on the edge of my seat there. Do they ask you to spell phonetically? You know what I mean, you fuck. Right? You know what I mean, right? Like spell it like how it sounds. Where are you from? I've mentioned it many times where I'm from, but you could see my face and kind of take a guess. All right, let's take a guess here. Where would this face be from? Hmm? Is this a European face? Is this an Asian face? Is this an African face? Is this a Caribbean face? Is this a Canadian face? Look at that. You let me know. Look at that. Take a look at the face and tell me where you think I look like I'm from. That face is from Samoa, right? You Samoans, man. You Samoans are another league of your own, especially the ones with dreads and flavor savers, right? Those are the other ones. Am I from Argentina? I'm not from Argentina. I'm from Argentina. I'm a little bit more north than that, which is Cuba. Believe it or not, right? A little bit of Cuba, a little bit of Arabic in there, and then you got me shooting out of my mother. That's essentially what I got. Not shooting in my mother, right? That's your job. That's your job to shoot in my mother, right? The shoot in my man. His name's Bradley. If my name was Bradley, I'm pretty sure I would have wrapped my lips around. I want to make sure nobody here has Bradley as a last name. Um, but yeah, I Bradley would be a weird name for me to have, right? I feel like I'm too uh, multi-ethnic for a name like Bradley. This nigga's jealous. He ain't an 8 out of 10 on a good day. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I'm aware. That's fine. Samoans, for the most part, like for example, my man crush is Roman Reigns, the wrestler, and he's Samoan. Right? He has a good bone structure, good facial features. They all typically have the same sort of vibe on them, but at least the ones that I've met in person, like students, like former students per se, they're never like that. They're never like that. They're always kind of like they look Latino. I would get them confused for Latinos because they have the same sort of vibe. It's dark skin, and they look almost Puerto Rican, right? So those, and I'm like, where are you from? You look like you're Caribbean. No, no, no. My parents are actually Samoan. What? Samoan? Jesus, I thought you were gonna make me yellow chicken with rice. Samoan, are you crazy? Instead, you're ripping off a coconut with your teeth. Yes, I know what you mean. Dip tart. I may have to use dip tart. Man, that's great. Dip tart is wild. I can't believe that's a thing. That's dip is another thing I don't understand. By the way, dip as a thing that people consume on a normal like I get cigars, right? I'm a huge fan of cigars, and you know what? I would even get boy, I'd even get cigarettes, right? I get that, but dip. What's the your mouth turns black, you're spitting. I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that at all. Top Notch says I pass as any brown rice. I thought for a second there that read as rice, and I was like, you could pass off as a Ray Rice, my friend. Watch out, don't step in the elevators with this guy. Well, Pam, you got two of those brown eyes. You actually get three brown eyes because of the butthole. Well, Pam, Pam, you know what I'm saying? Purple, brown, doesn't matter. But you, my friend, can pass off as a brown rice, a brown Ray Rice. I think it's too early to do this stream. When it comes to these streams, usually it's like mid afternoon, and I'm good. I'm ready. I'm awake. Right here, I'm still in the morning vibe. I'm still feeling my morning vibe. What's the deck I'm holding? This is the Wranglers playing cards. These were sent to me by Penguin Magic. Uh, I do want them to keep sending me decks, so I don't want to say my opinion on these cards. Actually, I do. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of these like crazy like. I don't like too far in either spectrum, right? And I say spectrum in in a sense of magicians being on a spectrum and cards being on the spectrum. I don't want cards that are too on the neutral side where it's pretty much just plain old boring. And I don't want cards that are just too much. I feel like these are too much, right? Like if you turn this card face down, there's a difference between the color of this one and the color of the face. I'm not a huge fan of this particular deck of playing cards, but some people might. Some people might. They might like them. All my four brothers have chewed all their lives. It's gross. That sounds nasty. I don't get what I imagine you still get that nicotine hit, right, from it, from the chew and stuff. From cigars, it depends on the strength and of the wrapper and the leaves. But I mean, I've only gotten hammered on a cigar once, and it was a really hard, intense, burnt uh, wrapper. I think it was the Liga Privada. That's one, and it was there was another one that was the cigar of the year a couple years ago that I had that one and I was hammered. But I get it, right? But chew, I don't understand what the point of the chew is, or the dip. Sorry. This stream smells like Axe body spray and yeast. You know what it should smell like? It should smell like, I'll tell you exactly what. Davidoff cool water is what it should smell like. That and shitty coffee. Piggy, hope you're doing well. I don't watch too often anymore, but you're a nice add to a day. Thank you for being around. Hope your coffee is good. Hey, boy. Hey, boy, that's good. I'm glad you're doing other things in your life, but you still stick around to go, hey, man, hope you're having a good day. I hope you're having a good day, Crow Guy 132. Hope you're having a great day. Great day. Chris, what's up, dog? Says hookah could do that too. I'm not a fan of hookah. I don't think okay. I've never done hookah, obviously, but I'm still being I'm being an asshole, right? I'm not a fan of it just for the whole aesthetic of it. Whenever a restaurant or a bar turns to hookah, like they bring out the hookah, I know that they're dying. I know that they're not gonna last 6 months because that's their last hurrah. They go, oh shit, how else could we keep this bar up? Oh, I know, bring the hookah. Let's have the hookah. It's gross. You're there, just either at that point have a cigarette, have a cigar, or vape, right? But you have this large device. No, I don't want Microsoft Teams for free. I'm not a fan of it. I'm definitely not a fan of that. And it's always like oh man, and pardon my use of the word bitch, right? But it's always the same bitch that she's like this, and she goes with like one of those boomerangs, and she's shiny even though she's put on foundation. It's always the same type of person. Here they're everywhere. Here they're everywhere. You go down the beach and they're everywhere. And there's a couple restaurants and bars on this area over there called Coral Gables. That this shitty bar that I knew was on its last legs, and now I saw them. They have hookah now, so I'm like, oh, all right, 6 months, 6 months, and this bar's gone, and it's a terrible place. So I'm not a fan. I'd rather have a cigar, and from my understanding, they're not as good, right? They're not as good for you. People think that they're good for they're better for you than other stuff. I feel like they might be actually worse for you. What's 2 a.m.? So not much of a day yet. Should be fine though. I'll deal with it. It's the work life. It's the work life, dog. On that grind. 5 p.m. Sunday afternoon beer vibe working for me. Yeah, I would have had wine. I've been into wine recently. I've mentioned this in a previous stream. But the thing about wine, especially once you get to the advanced age that I'm partaking in, I get hungover during drinking wine, and the headaches are terrible because it's all sugar essentially that I'm consuming, even if it's a dry wine. So I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of the hangover. I'm a fan of the wine. Yesterday I made some steaks in a barbecue, poured myself a couple glasses of red wine, cabs, right, as they say. Had a little bit of brie cheese, just adding it there to a little flavoroonie. But I was hungover in like 2 hours. So yesterday I went to sleep like this. Just I don't like it. I'm not a fan, but I like the flavor. I like the taste. But the way it tastes and the way it is, it's almost like it's meant for you to have multiple glasses. But then if you have multiple glasses, you get a nasty headache. I hate it. I hate it. If anybody has a cure for not getting a hangover during the drinking of wine, I'll gladly take it. What's up, bro? Your content has been killer. And hookah boomerangs. That's funny as fuck. It's usually one of two types of women, right? It's usually, the ghetto girl, you know, lack of a better term. It's always the ghetto girl or the Latina chick, right? With the lips all done up, with the juicy, and she's always doing the same boomerang. And then the next boomerang is her and her friends, just her blowing simultaneously. They're practicing for later on at night. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of that. And that's constant here. That's everywhere. Instant heartburn. I feel like Black Sambuca and Placa. Jesus, good reference to shitty street drugs there. I don't know how could you get heartburn from wine? That's odd. Like the previous Darren Brown trick in the Mentalism Academy. Yeah, I wanted to reshoot the video when I saw it, and I might had an additional video adding to that. But the handshake induction, the pseudo handshake induction, right? That's a fun one. It was really popular a couple years ago, and you had a lot of exposed Darren Brown exposed tutorial on how it's done. And I mean, it's there. It's the Erickson method, right? Or variation of the Erickson method, because the Erickson method used to be you shake their hand and you say, "Focus on my eye," and you kind of like mime their or you reflect on what they're doing. which is a fun way of doing it. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, Carl. I might add a little bit extra stuff, just some notes on it that I feel I didn't add in the video because he was kind of, I didn't want to have the person that I had here too long. Oh, by the way, to get rid of the effects, have a good amount of food beforehand. If your body could resist the alcohol effect, then it'll reduce the hangover feeling. I had three steaks. I had three steaks as I was eating it. So I feel like that kind of should have quelled it. Dude, my roomie grilled a couple steaks the other night and made a blackberry and goat cheese spread. Put over it was the shit. Well, that's the thing that I realized. My neighbor, he was barbecuing and he made some steaks, and I was having wine the other day. He cut me up a steak, right? He cut me up a nice little bit of a hot steak, and I had it with wine for the first time, steak and wine. I don't know what that does to your palate and your brain, but it's Jesus come essentially. It's the equivalent of Jesus of Nazareth coming down and going, "Hey, take this," and you're going, "All right." You know, that's the equivalent of what it did to me. I still don't know how to reveal that I predicted a number. Oh, okay, Carl. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about the recent one with the handshake induction, not that one. I still don't know how to reveal that I predicted the number. Well, that depends on the effect that you're going for, right? It depends on the effect that you're going for because the effect in that case is that the participant unconsciously was writing the little scribbles on a card, little squibbles, and that they came to the same number that this participant happened to have been thinking of, or a number that you have predetermined for them, right? So you could show that their actions were not necessarily their own. So there are different ways to play around with it, but it's definitely a good way, and it's a good baseline. It's a good baseline because you could use it as a lot of things. You could use that as a force, so you don't have to have a prediction. You could use that as a force and kind of guide them. Oh, do you see a number here? This kind of looks like a letter. What letter would you say that looks the closest to? Stuff like that. But that one is definitely up to how you want to present it. If you want to force with cards, yeah, you could definitely do it with that. But it's a good canvas, and you could use it on its own. You could use it as a prediction, so it's a versatile thing. But I loved it the moment I saw it from Brown's. I think the Gathering special. I need to say thank you. Sorry for my shit stain English, but I started my magic journey from your tutorials, and I've lost my virginity. Not even to my stepdad, to a woman. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I didn't want to clap too hard because then it throws off the microphone. However, I want to say that's what I'm here for. All right, I'm here to get you paid and to get you laid. All right, I might as well be a pickup artist. Might as well be teaching pickup artistry, not card artistry, not mentalism artistry, right? Because that's what the goal is: get paid and get laid. All right, you're out here doing card tricks. The right mamacita sees you doing that card trick, and guess what, my friend? You're getting a standing ovation twice. It's retarded. Hey, Pigeth, what's up? I get the through penny bits. Cockney rhyming slam from cheap wine, and I get acid indigestion. But mostly, cheap wine gives me ugly women and a self hatred. Is that what it is? Is that it's cheap wine? Because the wines that I've purchased have been like $12 max, the bottle. So maybe that might be it. Maybe I need to like step up, get a slightly better um, bottle, and then see if that might reduce the hangover. Maybe because the cheaper ones they're using like cheaper shit, right? So therefore, you're probably gonna get a hangover because they overcompensate with sugar, right? So that might be it. You might be onto something there. Let's see. Pig, if you're having food, then remember to drink water. 1 glass of wine essentially deletes 3 glasses of water. Damn. So I gotta drink a lot of water before and during. Have a glass of water now. Hey, what's up there? Right now I'm having my coffee, of which don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Okay, your boy's out here turning into not even a Karen, into an Amanda. All right, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. Daniel says I love the new pig cake. What do you mean by new pig cake? I don't understand what you mean by that. It's always been the same pig cake. It's always been the same, uh, nibba. You know what I'm saying? OG nibba. But yeah, that's kind of odd. The one that I tried, which saved me, is the IV, the liquid IV thing, right? Which I know is all marketing. It's electrolytes, it's salts, it's the sodium to get your body, um, the hydration, right? The Pedialyte one from Gatorade is tremendous. That one saved my life. The one that I still don't understand how it works are these shots that you get from Walgreens and you get from CVS Pharmacy, right? And it's something that you take. It says take an hour before you drink, right? So I chugged those and then gone and had a disgusting amount of liquor. And then the next morning I wake up and I'm hitting up BK like it's all good. I'm hitting up the Mickey D's and rhyming, you know. So that's a weird one. That's a weird one. So I don't know how that works. I'm convinced it's witchcraft. No wine under $20 unless you have a cast iron gullet and a rubber asshole. The next one I'll probably step it up a little bit because I'm a cheapo depot. My friend said it the other day. Is like, dude, you buy cheap shit and then complain when it breaks. You should just buy the good shit and then not have it break. I'm like, yeah, but it's also expensive, which is how I approach everything. But yeah, I might just cough up on like a $20 bottle and see if that makes it better above 20. Because the ones that I've had are like 12, and then it's definitely the cheapo side. I saw not a documentary, but a YouTube video that was very well produced about the Austrian wine poisoning. That Austrian wine was using these weird chemicals to enhance the flavor of wine, and they ended up finding it that it made people sick, and they were undercutting the actual wine with this thing, and they had a whole crazy incident over there that spanned through a lot of Europe. As a matter of fact, got affected by it. I forgot the name of the person that made it, but it's a wonderful thing. If you look up Austrian wine, you wouldn't think that'd be an interesting video, but it's very fucking interesting and very telling as to how these companies cut corners. A lot of cheap wine uses chemicals to fuck around with the yeast so that they can make it faster. They also make the cheap stuff in metal vats rather than barrels. I believe that. I believe that. Yeah. Now that you're saying that, I think the times that I've bought, I should do a little bit of a scientific test, right? Get a $5 bottle, get a $20 bottle, and get a $30 bottle, and see which one gives me the worst hangover, right? Obviously, it's going to be the cheaper one, but maybe the other one, maybe the biggest one, will also give me a hangover. So I'll do an experiment. Maybe I might put it on Pigcake Plus, and then record it, and then have the whole thing up there. But and then I'll to avoid any sort of mental, right, tempering. What I could do is that I could somehow make it random, so that I don't know which is which, but then I could look and then determine which one is which at the end after doing the whole process. So that way I'm not there just going, all right, yeah, this one's not going to give me a hangover. And through the process of The Secret, right? You remember when that was popular, The Secret, and a bunch of middle-aged housewives cut out magazine things, cut out magazines of cars they wanted, and they put it on a poster board, and they said, I want that, and I'm going to get it. I'm going to will it into existence with my mind. That whole thing. So that I don't secret my way into not getting a hangover. Careful with the first sip. You know what they say? That with the first sip comes out the tip. Yeah, that's what my grandfather told me right before he went in there and said, hey, man, you should get this checked out. You should get these little weird things checked out. Can you get hemorrhoids as a child? I don't think you can. Your body turns all the alcohol into sugar. We got scientists here. We got some science. If you ever come here into America's ball sack, the Panhandle, I know a guy who sells the best steaks on the planet. You could cut that ribeye with a spoon. Crazy good. The Panhandle. The Panhandle, dog. That is rough. I've never been up there. I think the closest is New Orleans, which tells you my knowledge of geography. But I've never been up there. I don't think I've ever been up there. Sounds like a very interesting place to go because it might as well be the actual South, the legitimate South, not where we are, which is south of where you are, but technically that's more south than what we are by mentality. How was the experience when you did that muscle contraction thing with Xavier? Well, Xavier is I keep finding that every time I message him or he's a funny motherfucker, right? And he's like low key funny, so he'll just say funny shit without even thinking about it. But that was great. I was really enjoying that time. Anytime I get to hang out with X and that, it's always a great time. But that one was the fucking muscle contraction that I thought that I could beat. I'm like, there's no way this shit is gonna. Everybody's exaggerating. I get it. Oh, the camera's on, right? The camera's on, dude. You're gonna go crazy because the camera's on. No, legitimately, you put the shit, and you're now his bitch because you do whatever he commands you to. So it contracts your shit, and you can't do it, and it just literally fucks with your whole arm. But it was fun. I was also demolished. I was hammered the entire time in Ohio. So if you came up to me, just know that you got the best of the best. There's a video of me like turning I did this stupid little thing where I get like a Parmesan packet at like this pizza shop at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I just go and turn it into something. I was demolished, demolished. They're old fashions. They give you old fashions in like this. This is the amount of old fashioned they give you for like $4. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna take advantage of that because old fashions where I'm from cost $15. So you're telling me I could get an entire bottle essentially for $4? I'm gonna do it. Uh, let's see. Real Magic is that book Secret is still a bestseller in Russia. Still a bestseller in Russia. My goodness. Let me tell you, horny housewives were losing their minds over that book, putting up poster boards. Like poster board sales shot up the roof when that documentary came out and that book came out about it because they're like, you're telling me that I could manifest things by thinking them? That's the point is that you have clear goals and that by having those goals outlined clearly, it's going to motivate you more to do the work necessary to get to the point where you reach your goals. Not that by putting stuff on a poster board and putting it up in your room, it's just going to manifest itself. You still got to do the work. The fuck? But all these people are like, including my own mother. My own mother had the poster boards, and I'm like, I think you're defeating the point of the idea here is that you see it, you remind yourself what your goals are, and that you do your actions to get to the goal. You want to get a car, the car's not going to appear, right? You're going to have to do the work to get the car, but you see the car and you remind yourself, all right, that's what I'm working for. Whereas maybe if you didn't have the car there, you'd kind of lose track and then focus on other things. So that's kind of the idea behind it, which is good thinking, right? It's good thinking, but boy, man, let me tell you, middle-aged housewives went crazy when The Secret came out, and when Oprah recommended it, another wave of crazy. Jesus. Let's see. You've had your coffee. Can I talk to you now? Yeah, I've had enough coffee. Actually, I brought down the whole kits here in case I needed a refill, but I realized I talk more than I drink, so I haven't needed any refill yet. Mm. Did you catch the Joe Rogan with Brett Weinstein? I saw the highlights. I see the highlights. Um, but Dark Horse, I've liked listening to it, right? To his own podcast before, and man, if you really want a fun listen, if you really want a fun listen, listen to Brett Weinstein on that app, that platform app or whatever that app is called, the Stage app, or it's like the closed beta one. Oh boy, really gives you another perspective on humanity, right? And the thought process. What's the somebody please help me with the name of that app? Building a choreographed routine for the bar. To search is over. To search is over. My goodness. Jesus. Listen, man, I love the song, but to have a choreographed routine, to search is over. You were with me all the while. I can't. I can't. I literally can't. I'm trying to think of what would be worse. It's like that scene in Napoleon Dynamite where he's like doing this, and they have like a choreographed thing to "Wind Beneath My Wings" or whatever it was. Tremendous. I want to see it. I want to see it, but like this, whatever that choreographed search is over. Sang by one of my favorite singers, who unfortunately said, "You know what? I like coke more than I like living," and he's dead. Do you watch sports? Yeah, yeah. I'm a sports fan. I watch whatever's on. If baseball's on, I watch baseball. But the stuff that I actually follow is like UFC. Like I'll follow UFC. I'll follow just stuff like that. Boxing from time to time whenever there's a great fight. Not really like a huge fan of boxing, but I watch the fights. And then unfortunately, professional wrestling, my friends. Professional wrestlings. Although, to be fair, I haven't really been following it much the past couple years. I watch Raw from time to time, the pay-per-views when they come up, but I'm not like tracking it actively. I feel like there's a certain level of virginity that you can't remove from doing that on a constant basis. So I watch the major pay-per-views and that's it. But yeah, I'm a sports fan. I like it. I used to have ESPN on all the time in the background, but I'm not a fan anymore. Not a fan anymore of ESPN. I think they've gone a little bit too cuckoo. Well, you know what they say: with the housewives comes the hard times. That's hard. I like that you had to explain it at the end there, Oscar. I like that you had to explain it at the end. That's what makes it better. What's your favorite wrestling gimmick? Favorite wrestling gimmick? Oh boy, man, that's a rough one, right? But what do you mean by gimmick? Like a wrestler's character, or something that they use? Because that could also be a gimmick, right? Like a blade to cut themselves. That could be a gimmick, right? Well, I mean, they can technically use a thumb tip. They could hide the blade that they cut themselves with inside of a thumb tip. Show your hands empty. Most of them hide it under wrist tape, right? So they have a wristband or a tape on the wrist. They hide the little blade there, cut themselves, put it back, and then now they're bleeding, apparently. Are you wrestling with real life spectators? I think that's sexual assault, my friend. Are you one of them people that gets angry when they say wrestling is fake? No, no, but it is stupid. It is I think it's when you say fake, you mean predetermined. But man, let me tell you, just falling on my back as many times as I have to imagine having to do that on a regular basis every single day to learn how to fall on your back there's no fake about that, and technically it's retarded because you're getting injured more like commonly than real fighters for doing what is rehearsed and choreographed and um, not real combat. So it's pretty much pseudo combat, but you're getting injured at a higher rate than real fighters. Kind of crazy with that. What's up, Piggy? Can you shout out to my pal Kevin Stakely or Kevin Stakey? That's too close to Kevin Spacey for me to feel comfortable. I don't know if your friend Kevin Stakey has the same aesthetic as Kevin Spacey. A great actor, but he's also a great fondler, and he pulled the greatest card of the 21st century, which is so Kevin Spacey. We have allegations that you have had some sort of a sexual communication and contact with a minor, and what is your take on that? And he went, the heart of the cards. I'm gay. That's how he did it, which I think is one of the best cards that anybody's ever pulled to combat allegations of sexual harassment to a minor. Tremendous. The balls to pull that card out and to go, listen, man, I'm sorry, dude, but your boy's gay. What are you gonna do now, huh? You're gonna talk trash about a gay guy? No, I don't think so. I'm Kevin Spacey. That's the way I imitate people. I say their name in my voice, and that's how I imitate people. People are really good with like imitations and accents. No, I just say I'm Kevin Spacey. Do you still magic could be mixed with comedy? Also, will it dilute the effect? It dilutes the effect for sure, right? Magic and comedy is it's a great combo, but if your goal is to have humor, you're going to dilute the effect because the effect is just going to be a highway to comedy. It's going to be an effect. The effect is the vehicle that you're using to get to the joke, right? The point is a punchline. So you have a lot of comedy magicians where they might do a rope trick. Michael Finney is a wonderful one. He's hysterical, but the magic is aside. The point is the jokes, right? So to the point where he does the effect and he kind of glosses over the effect to get the laugh from the audience. Amazing Jonathan is another one where the humor really isn't in the magic, it's how he's presenting it. So he's presenting, the thing where he shoves it everywhere. He shoves a pen up to his nose, and it's not the trick, right? Not the effect, but it's the vehicle for him to get the laughs. So when it comes to comedy and magic, you're really losing on one or the other, right? If you focus too much on the magic, well, guess what? Now the comedy's down. If you focus on the comedy, the magic's down. So it's a good balance, but you have to definitely work with whatever it is the goal of you to the audience is. If you're doing like a comedy club and you're doing the whole bit where you're kind of doing magic, I would say probably focus more on the comedy. Probably focus more on the comedy. Use the magic to supplement the comedy Don't just necessarily go up there and be expected to for them to care about how your ropes represent your exes, you know, and then at the end when they all combine together, they're not really caring about that as much as they do the joke. So that's what I have to say about that. You are you sure you're Arabic and not Jewish? Buying cheap stuff. Well, Arabs are cheap as shit. Listen, Arabs are a lot cheaper than Jews. Let me tell you that much. I don't know why the Jews have gotten the bad rep for pinching pennies. Arabs are way cheaper. As I mentioned before, my mom tells me constantly that my father has gotten to the point where he was almost killed consuming rotten food because he refused to throw it away. That's a new level of cheap, and his whole family and the whole lineage is like that. And all the family members that I've met have been way cheaper. As a matter of fact, I have an aunt that's she's a Jewish woman, very devout Jewish woman. She's married to an Arab man, so you see the best of both worlds. And let me tell you, the aunt splurges. The Arab man is still wearing the same suit from 1974. So that's I don't understand why Jews got the bad rep. Arabs are definitely cheaper. I think humor is being used as a vehicle and primer for the magic is that thing that happens to happen. The few people that do it really well impress me. I think one that does it with the, you could kind of see two schools of thought with that, right? So, for example, let's say Michael Finney. You see Michael Finney, where he focuses more on the comedy than the actual trick. Same thing with Amazing Jonathan. Then you might have somebody like Bill Malone that uses the comedy to supplement his magic. So the comedy's in there and it's funny as shit, but it's not the focus. The focus is the effect, right? So he manages to put enough effort on the actual effect rather than the actual comedy bits. The comedy bits just supplement the magic. So you have the two schools of thought. Whichever one you think is better is the one that you should go with. Oh, I disagree. Here's a fella from South America who's hilarious and very magical. Darn, I can't think of his name, but he did the salt trick on Fulas. What's his name? Man, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Salt trick, South America. Not sure, but I think that again, the focus on that is it's. You could also find a nice place to live in the middle, right? You could also find a nice place to live in the middle. Mario Lopez, they're saying Mario Lopez here in the chat, but I think he finds that nice way in the middle. He also does a trick where he removes his nipple, right, which is tremendous. Now that I think about it, okay, so you have a pasty, right? I'm trying to think of how to do that. Now, so instead of taking out your nipple, you put in, so you put on a pasty covering your nipple, like a skin colored pasty. And then in your hand, behind a pasty, you have like a pepperoni. So then you could do that and pretend to put it back on your nipple. So I think he did that, but I was always trying to figure out how he did it. And I was like, how did he do? It's a you're so instead of you're taking it off, but you're actually putting on the pasty and taking out the thing. No, he just pulls his nipple up. Well, then if that'd be a good method though, right? You put the pasty on and have the pepperoni in your hand, right? Or you could eat it and then spit it as you kind of like pull the pasty out, and it kind of looks like you're doing the bit and spit nipple trick. It's gonna be on Magic Stream in a couple weeks, so look out for that. Brad, oh, have you met Michael Moore? He lives in Orlando. No, I've never met Michael Moore. The only Orlando-based magician I met was the guy from the Great Magic Hall, which was hysterical. He told the person that I was with to put away their phone, which was funny because he didn't want them recording it. And then a frequent user of the pigcakee community here also tried to get a job there and ended up being better than a magician. So then he got fired after a couple hours. But that was a fun one. Caramel, a pig cake original. You just move your skin out of sight with your thumb. Yeah, but you could be more like you could be very open if you have a pasty, right? So if you have a pasty on your palm, you have a pepperoni. I hate where the fuck did this stream go? Right? What are we talking about? You have a pepperoni and you have a pasty, right? And you show your nipple. You stick the pasty on your nipple, and you take out the pepperoni. Obviously, the pasty is going to cover the nipple. Not mine because I have hairy nipples. But now, guess what? Look at this. You could eat it. You could have the nipple, and then you could fucking go, and then the fucking nipple looks like it reappears, but really the pasty is just being covered by your hand. Nipple Magic. There's a trick by there was a project by this coin magician, I think John Bourne and Jason Dean years ago. There was a magic project that they shot it together. John Bourne, who I believe also wrote a book on any card, any number called Meant to Be, right? And he had a set of DVDs with Jason Dean. And then Jason Dean had a trick, I believe. I guess keep saying that because I'm not sure if I remember, but he had a nipple ring, and the card appears on a nipple ring. So he ends up doing one of these. He has a nipple ring, and then the signed card appears on his nipple ring, hanging off, like in those classic, like the shoelace one, or with the any sort of like card on coat hanger from Paul Harris and Michael Moore. Speaking of, but he does that. So he just literally does this, and then the card appears hanging from his nipple ring. You have to have a nipple ring to do that. I don't have a nipple ring, nor do I have the intent to do that. Um, I believe Andrew Cuomo, the governor of New York, I think he has a nipple ring. There were pictures of him with his fucking nipple rings through the thing. They're saying, "Oh no, it's a tank top." The guy's got nipple rings. All right, he tries to hide them, but he's a freak. This Mr. Lopez is so genius. His projects only work for him. He looks like an ordinary bum and does magic like David Blaine times 100. Yeah, he looks like Post Malone, but then he does amazing visual magic, which is the odd thing. The cigarette one was tremendous. But yeah, no, he is. He's one of those fucking geniuses, which is a double-edged sword because anytime you put something out, it's like, yeah, okay, you're never gonna do it the way he does it, you know. So yeah, you might kind of just copy and emulate, but it's never gonna be anything close to what he does, right? So I guess the projects are worthwhile to get to study them, but not really worthwhile to fucking do anything for you other than see his mindset when coming up with a trick. Same thing with Shin Lim. Like every time Shin Lim comes out with one of these projects that's like based on his acts, I'm like, what are you gonna get from that? Are you gonna do his act? Are you gonna do a thing from his act? Because then you're just gonna be a subpar Shin Lim. I think his video on Foolish has 160 million views. I think either that or it might be that or 50 million, one of those numbers, which is still an absurd amount of views for a video. So people are well aware of Shin Lim, and if you do anything involving smoke magic, they go, "Oh, you like that Asian guy on TV, right?" Which book do you recommend for intermediate and advanced magicians? I always recommend the same books, right? It's Expert Card Technique is one of my favorites. The other ones are the Art of Astonishment series. And the other ones that I recommend for, I guess, more intermediate to advanced magicians would be even Card College would be a good one. Munching through those are great. You get to find a lot of stuff, a lot of things that are well tailored towards beginners, but things that you might second guess your own stuff on. Great book. If you wanted to control a card in front of someone who's trying to outsmart you, what method would you use? Also, what method would you use to force a card in front of such people? That's a little bit specific, right? Depends on the context. But trying to outsmart you, as I've mentioned before, if he's trying to outsmart you, just give him a task. Just give him a task and do something else while he's occupied with that task, right? So the one that I've mentioned before, which is great, is you say, "Hey, do me a favor, hold the box like this, right now," and then you're very specific as to how you have them hold the box, and then meanwhile, you could do whatever force you want to this participant, right? You could do whatever force you want. It doesn't matter to do a force that's going to outsmart them, but or a control that's going to outsmart them. Because if they're going to be looking, they're going to be looking, right? But if you give them a task, their mind is occupied with the task, and you tell them it's very important that I don't get near that box. So just keep an eye on that. And if I try to get near you, let everybody know that I'm getting near the box. And then you force the card, you control it to the top, and then at the end of the trick, they go, "Hey, what about the box?" You go, "Thank you. Thanks for that." And that's the end of your card set. But give them something to be occupied by. Don't worry about what control or what specific force. You give them a task, they're distracted by the task or they're on the task, and guess what? Now they're not paying attention to whatever move or whatever force you're doing as much as they would be had they not had something to do. Right? Oh, do me a favor, mix these cards up. Mix these cards up in your hand, right? And they're the jokers. Like just dumb shit like that they think has any significance. but it's going to take your mind away from, let me try to catch this guy, because those are the ones that you get the most. If you have a guy that's there with his arms crossed, that he's looking at your hands, those are the easiest ones to get, because you give them a task, their mind's occupied by something else, and they think, oh, I'm going to catch him out. I'm going to not mix these cards, or I'm going to keep track of them. Or, you know what? I'm going to put my finger here so he can't get anywhere near the box. All right, good, buddy. Now the card's already on top, and you're a fucking retard. Um, Pocket Sand, yeah, Boulder Guy, that's another good one from King of the Hill. Pocket Sand. So you go, hey, do me a favor. Is that your mom? Like right now, actually, I do have some pocket sand because I have packets of sugar in my pocket that I thought I was going to use on coffee, but it still works, right? You go, hey, watch this, right? And you put it in your hand, and you go, how's that, bitch? Huh? Sugar in your eyeballs. Good luck seeing your optometrist on a Sunday, cunt. The next time, think twice before you decide to bombard my card trick with your stupid logic, Chad. And then you take his girlfriend. You take his fat girlfriend. Take her to Pound Town. Julius Dean is the life and soul of any party, and we would all take a moment to try and be more like him. I mentioned it before. I have a picture of his penis on my phone, the phone that's currently doing this live stream. But I have a picture of his penis that was sent to me, and it's weird. It's weird. It was kind of odd, right? Because, well, he's riding a bike in the nude, and his dick's out, and he has a thing pointing at his dick. Odd. Odd fella there. How much would you spend on a book top end? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because when it comes to that and books and magic, I really stick to old stuff. I really like looking at my old stuff and seeing if you could kind of rework that with a new mentality. And I don't think I'd spend more than probably $70, but the book would have to be tremendous. The book would have to be universally known as amazing. I was looking at Wizard Product Review, right? I was looking at Wizard Product Review recently, their last episode, and I was very intrigued because they had this trick with poker chips, right? So they had this trick with poker chips where the poker chips are electronic, right? And they could tell you whether they're face up, they're face down. They could tell you where they are. They could tell you if they've been moved. And I was like, man, that sounds great, dude. If that's under $100, I'm buying it. I'm buying it if that's under $100, right? Because it's a useful thing. You could put the poker chips anywhere you want. So let's say you put the poker chip in your wallet. You put your wallet on the table, right? You're gonna turn around and tell a group of people for one of them to take your wallet and put it in their pocket, right? To take the wallet and put it in the inside of their pocket. So then you turn around and you could tell them exactly who has the wallet. Each and every single time. Same thing with a coin in a hand. And they look like poker chips, right? So I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. If that shit's under $100, I'm copping it. And then Dave Penn is like, it's not cheap. It's $999 for the 3 poker chip set. Are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, all right, I guess I'll figure out a new way of doing that. But it's hysterical. Like that would be the high end of stuff in terms of magic. But holy shit. No fucking thank you, dude. I was thinking, I'm like, man, that sounds great, dude. I might cop that. I never buy magic. I never buy fucking magic. The last thing that I bought was probably from Wish.com for a video. I never buy magic, so I was thinking, man, I'm gonna cop that if it's under $100. Even if it's one chip under $100, I'll buy it. No, 999. It's the cost of two Xboxes, two PS5s, essentially. You get the base model, 2 PS5s. You have this poker chip trick. But for a professional, it's great, especially if it's reliable. But yeah, no thank you, dude. I remember hearing him say that. I was watching it and doing some thing for the Academy stuff and watching the review. And then the moment he said 900, I'm like, nope. All right, I'm done. Let's see. I tried that in a fight once. The guy dodged it. Pocket sand. That's funny. So if they dodge pocket sand, you're fucked. Like at that point, it's over. Your main move is it's like, for example, let's say you're Bill Goldberg. You hit him with the spear. You get him with the jackhammer. Well, now they kick out. Guess what? You're done. What are you gonna do? Do it again? It obviously didn't work, my friend. Now you're fucked. How much could 1,000 African kids buy for that much? You could buy Ethiopia for that much. What fucks that fucks my question on the Academy of what top tricks would you buy on the market? That one, if it was not $1,000, I would definitely buy that just because it's very useful, right? The thing that I don't like is when you have something that you're introducing to the situation, right? When you're introducing something for the situation, so you're like, oh, hey, I have this fucking red ball in my pocket. But with a trick like that, again, you put it in your wallet. You could put it in anything that it fits, and then you have a good series of tricks you could do, right? You could put that maybe underneath a watch. You could put it anywhere, and you could have it so that the spectator you could do a lot of things with that. But for the price, it's crazy. I'd buy that if it was a lot cheaper. What else? I don't even know. Let's go on penguinmagic.com. Let's go on penguinmagic.com and check it out. What I would purchase. Let's see their top 10. So on their top 10 list, right, they have iBalance Plus by, who made this? iBalance Plus by Eric Tate. That's one letter away from being Eric Taint, which would be a very a shitty name to have. I wouldn't buy this one, but I guess it's like oh, sorry, no, this one's boxed and loaded. Boxed and loaded. So this is a trick where you get the card and do some stuff with the box. This one's iBalance by Mark Elston, right? Where you borrow a phone like this on your fingertips. I don't know if I'd buy that. I wouldn't necessarily be a fan of that. Let's see. Perfect Pen by John Cornelius. No way. No, I think too many people know about the pen through dollar for it to be worth it. So I wouldn't cop that. Let's see. JJ Notebook. So this one is JJ Notebook by Juan Pablo and Jota, which is a way to force a number with a wallet that looks like something you would find. Um, I don't know where the fuck you would even find a wallet like that. No, I wouldn't cop that at all. Let's see this one. It says The Devilish Method by Joseph B. That's a download. I mean, on the top 10, no, I wouldn't buy any of this. Let's see this one. Thy Will Be Done. So this is by the 1914. Carry this in your wallet. Nope. None of this. None of this appeals to me. And this is currently the top 10 of their list here. Let's see Murphy's, if Murphy's has anything that's interesting. I hate this fucking keyboard. Murphy's Magic. And I wrote Murphy's Magnificent. Okay, let's see what they have here. They have some playing cards. Wouldn't buy that. They have the JJ Notebook. I already mentioned that. Wouldn't cop that. Ripped Travel. A card stab for close up. I mean, It's the same shit. It's the same shit as Penguin Magic. No, man. I don't see anything here that strikes my fancy. Maybe the only thing is that poker chip trick. But that shit is too much. Trio by the Other Brothers. Let's see what this shit's about. Triple Prediction. Everything in a parlor routine. Funny. Okay, what is it? Variety of methods. Doesn't say what it is. 3 volunteers are invited to make various selections. From the audience's perspective, one of them is thinking of a famous person. That's really funny, by the way, to have that. From the audience's perspective, which means there's dual reality taking place. One of them is thinking of a famous person, another one is thinking of an animal, and the last person is thinking of a fruit. I can almost guarantee you that everyone is thinking of a fruit. I don't want to speculate on the method, though. And then, for example, Albert Einstein riding a giraffe while eating an apple. This seems like a ridiculous combination, yet you're able to prove how you knew that they would make these choices in a hilariously visual way. Okay? Don't think I'd buy that. Yeah, none of this. None of this is exciting to me. God damn it. Is the point of throwing cards for combat reasons? I think that if you learn how to throw cards for combat reasons, you're going to end up probably in the ER. Could you imagine? You know, some guy's like hitting up on a girl and he's really being aggressive and she's like, stop it. And then you go, listen, buddy, leave the girl alone, you know, you're gonna end up. Well, first of all, she's gonna end up banging that dude, and second of all, you're gonna end up dead and beat up because you thought that you could gambit your way out of a scenario. He doesn't even know English, dude. Ask a fair question. Yeah, I speak Spanish and English. You fuck. Let's see. Devilry by Danny Matty was my last purchase. Not bought anything for years. Wondered if there's anything worth it. Yeah, but I don't know. Just looking at all this stuff is definitely not worth it. And the only thing that's worth it is well out of my price range. What about Steve Forte's new book? Really nice book, but 300 is way too much. Do you have it? The book? Not the 300. No, I don't have the book. I don't keep. Again, I don't keep up with what's on like the magic market. The only thing that keeps me updated is maybe watching Craig Petty stuff from time to time and watching Wizard Product Review and Magic Orthodoxy. That's pretty much it. But I'll click on whenever it looks like something. I'm like, oh, that shit looks cool. I'll watch it. But as far as like keeping up with what's available now, nah, not necessarily sure about that. Do you know where I could buy Martin Gardner's impromptu reprint? Well, mine is a PDF. You know, very lazily scanned PDF of the original one from like forever ago. But I don't know where you would be able to buy it. I have to imagine Penguin, right? Imagine if you have a reprint, it has to be done through Magic Companies. Hmm. But the one that I have is a fucking PDF from fucking, yo, straight up from the dark web, boys. What else here? Let me see if there's anything that I might have missed going through these comments. Pocket Sand, already read that one. How much would I spend on this? Talking about the ridiculous price of the trick. I think that's the stream, man. I don't know if we could go on from here. My friends, my back's already hurting, which is a good sign that I've been sitting on the floor. This is the aesthetic of the channel, right? I'm sitting on the floor on a coffee table with coffee literally on top of it, and I didn't even need to refill it once. I even had a little cup of milk here ready, right? I didn't even need it. I didn't even need it. What are your opinions on piracy? Not that I would pirate anything. I think it depends, right? I think it depends. My opinion on piracy has changed the more I've gone through Magic, because some people just can't afford anything, right? Some people can't afford anything. When I was younger, anytime I could find something, I would download it, not really caring about anything. Now, if it's something, I'd get it to support the person, right? I'd get it to support the person. If they come up with a project that I'm interested in, I wouldn't pirate it. But if it's out of print, if it's something like a book that's hard to get, if it's something like a video that they don't sell, why the fuck not? Why the fuck not? Doesn't make any difference at that point, right? You're not gonna have the JM logic of, oh, my Freedom Pack has been downloaded on Demonoid.com 14,000 times. That means that's 14,000 people that would have bought the product had it not been on the download, which means that I lost on $3.5 million because of this transgression. That's not the way it works, my friend. That's not the way it works. They would not have bought it to begin with, which is why they were on the pirate side to begin with. So they're not going to buy it because they're looking for it on the Demonoid website, my friend. So you didn't lose on that. That's money that doesn't exist. So that logic is autistic. But depends on the situation. There's always context and there's always situations where it makes sense, especially when it comes from a financial point. When I was younger, I really didn't want my mom to spend a lot of money on Magic stuff, so I just find whatever I could. And it wasn't easy back then when I was learning Magic to find stuff. I'd have to scrape through with like PDFs and stuff. Now, fuck, you could find them anywhere. You could really find anything you want anywhere if you look hard enough. Which makes it harder because then imagine you're a company, you're an individual, you produce a trick, you produce a video, and you edit it, you buy the whatever it is, you deal with the fucking printing and the molds and all that shit, and then you have some guy put it up on a shitty website for either $3 or you have it on another website for free 95. So it really depends on the context. But I think in some ways it's okay, and sometimes it's not. It really depends. So I don't have a clear answer for that. Since nobody asked to stream, I'll pop it. When are we gonna get your deck in our hands? I wish I had that answer, man. I really do. I really do, because I have ideas for decks, and it's a snail's pace. It's scheduled to be released after Half-Life 3, right? Which we got a little bit of a Half-Life sequel, right? In the VR version with Alex, spelled for Y, so you know that she's edgy. So that's at least something, right? What is was good having coffee with you, my pigness. It's my one day off this week, and this kicked it off nicely. Good talk. Good talk. Piggy, do you have any specific card trick you like? Depends, right? There's the universal one, Back in Time by Jay Sankey, but it also depends on what I'm working on. Depends on what I'm working on. So this couple past couple months, I've been working on Out of This World quite a lot. I might have a tutorial up for that for the Patreons. Might have that. I'm happy with the method because what I wanted to have was I didn't want to. You're always having to do an adjustment. You're always going to have to do an adjustment with Out of This World, right? No matter what method, there's always an adjustment. And I figured you could circumvent the adjustment by having a little bit of pattern. So I didn't want to have to do any sort of adjustment. So I think I've come up with a couple different methods of where you could justify it and not have to make any sort of odd displacements, right? Even if you do the original one, to me is the worst one because, oh, wait, now that we're halfway, let's switch it up. So now, if you think the red card's here, put it here. If you think the black card's here, what? Why are we doing that? That's stupid. So that's what I've been obsessed with for the past couple couple months. I would say 2.5 months. But I like it. I like it. I think I'm happy with the method so far. Would you date a female magician, or is that a red flag? Whoo, whoo, damn boy. That's not the red flag. That's the reddest flag. That's so red. It's alternative right at that point. It's far right. How red that flag is. I don't think I'd date a magician. I don't think I'd date a magician. I do other stuff with a female magician, but look at us, right? Look at the male magicians. We're not good, right? We're not any good. So add a female to that? No, no, thank you, my dude. Because of how bad we are as male magicians, we already have as many red flags as can be being male magicians. So now you're a female magician and you're a magician as well? No. No, thank you, dude. Although procreation, I'll do the act of procreation with many female magicians, right? But as far as dating, no. Paul Harris has a good Out of This World. Yeah, but it still requires an adjustment. Still requires an adjustment, right? The adjustment being the galaxy thing, and it's great because it looks natural. You're turning over these cards. Look at this. You dealt all these cards as red. As a matter of fact, let's just save time, right? But it's still an adjustment. This one that I had in mind, it's minimal. It's not even. I don't even want to call it an adjustment. Did you watch DK's video on comments on Anna D's post? I haven't watched it yet. I did leave a comment, and the comment was, "I left most of these. I left the majority of these," which could be true. But a good buddy, DK, right, Daniel Kohler, made a great video. If it could ever fucking load on YouTube, made a great video where he read Anna de Guzman's comments, right? DK Magician. Okay, let's see. DK Magician. He has some comments here from Anna de Guzman, which are hysterical, right? Because all the comments are like, dude, I'll lick your feet. You know, like, give me your butt sweat. Right here, I left most of these 13 upvotes. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Although, man, these comments, I definitely would have done this video different. I love Daniel, but I would have done this video differently because he did it for like the what do you call this? The I'll leave the video here in the comments if you guys want to check it out. I'm sure it's great. He's fucking very skilled. The guy's crazy, but he did it like legitimately. I would do it a little bit in jest. I do it in jest. The way I would do the video is that all the comments, it'd be obvious that it would be me leaving the comments. So I blur out the profile picture, but I leave it enough to the point where you could still read pig cake and you could still see that it's my profile picture. That's how I would do the video. If I were to do a video referring to a female magician's comments, right? I would be doing it so that it's obvious that it's me leaving the comments, That's how I would have done it. I'm not gonna do it now because obviously he did the video, and that'd be kind of ridiculous. But I think that'd be a funny bit. All right, it's like, hey, send me a picture of your fucking feet, and it's me. It's obvious. You see it logged in. You could edit it. I think that'd be great. Looking forward to your out of this world. I'm sure, and people aren't gonna like it. I'm sure people aren't gonna like it. I like it. Whatever I've come up with here, at least the combination of ideas. But I'm sure, in general, people are not like it. I might put it up as like a bonus video and see if what the vibe is. But at least I dig it. But yeah, that's how I did the video. And man, let me see the dog comments. So he split up the video. Miami Swim Week. I can't believe she comes to Miami and doesn't DM me. Ridiculous. If there's anybody that knows Miami, is me. All right, it's me. I was bred in it. You merely visit Miami. I was raised and bred and thrive in Miami, and yet I don't get a response. Okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. Let's see what this Miami.
That was a thing. It just sounds like a trashier version of New York Fashion Week, but it's okay.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna bother.
Let me not do the audio here. But let's see the comment that he's talking about from Miami Music Week when Anna de Guzman is her showing off some highlights from Miami Swim Week. God, she's fine. I'm saying it. Listen, I'm not hiding behind an avatar. All right. This one says, I do cardistry for the plot. That one's not bad. Right, that one's not too bad. I do cardistry from the plot. Okay, let's see. Uh, Try some penis. What zero penis does. This is what zero penis does. Okay, so all these comments are regarding zero penis, um, which is kind of funny. Were you bred in Miami? Yeah, I'm an inbred from Miami. That's the way you should have taken that. I'm an inbred from Miami. So he's talking about these comments that are saying that this is what no dick does. Two of the most fantastic women I came across on Instagram. I mean, same the last guy did. Yeah, I gotta watch this video. I gotta watch this video in its entirety. Jesus. Maybe I might leave a comment, seeing if she responds. Right? If she responds to me. But I'm saying this as myself, right? Hey, you could have verifiable evidence that it's me saying this. So I'm not hiding behind an avatar, right? Saying, hey man, why don't you respond to my DMs? And same thing with Jabrizi. Jabrizi doesn't respond to my DMs every time I see him post a picture where he's here in Miami, in my backyard, right? Literally the most Miami motherfucker of all time. Look at the fade. Look at the fade on my beard. You're telling me that you don't respond to my DMs, Jabrizi and Anna D? Okay. Okay. I've done this rant too many times. But it's true. It's factual. It upsets me that these guys don't answer my. I've sent them one DM, right? Let's transparency here. I've sent both one DM saying, "Hey man, yo, 305. I'll let you know what it is." No response. No response. But then for Jabrizi, but then what's the Shazam podcast? Sends him one email and he's on her podcast. What? You got one email from Kayla Drescher, Jabrizi, and you respond, but you don't respond to my email. You don't respond to my DM. Okay, I see how it is. I see how it is. One day you should just stream snipe Jabrizi. He doesn't do it live though. Heavily edited. His stuff is never live. I could figure out where he is based on the background of stuff. Like I know exactly where De Guzman is based on that video of her with that stupid thing that spins around, right? But man, boy, there's no one that knows Miami more than this guy right here. Okay, you're coming to my town, and you respond to Kayla Drescher in the ID. What's the convention they just started? The convention that I think finished yesterday, IDM Con, which is a diversity and inclusivity diversity convention for magicians. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But you respond to that. All right. that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't know what else to say, right? Apart from enjoy your day. It's 1 o'clock for me, so you still have the rest of the day to enjoy yourself. Don't take yourself too seriously, right? I'm thankful to each and every single one of you for watching this. If I were to recommend a thing to do, might I suggest taking a walk? Taking a walk, by the way, is life changing, right? So let me get up here so I can get behind the camera. Taking a walk is life changing, my friends. Taking a walk is something that I've realized that a lot of people recommend. It's an excellent form of cardio. You're burning a lot of calories. You're burning a lot of excess calories. You're burning a lot of calories, and you're also you're giving yourself time to meditate. All right, so walk more often, and you're gonna find that that's gonna give you a lot of health benefits. If you don't want to really work out and do some crazy stuff, I might go on a walk right now. I might go on a walk right now. But apart from that, Joe Biden likes kids.